And welcome back. We have another Tales of Tribute game here, going second this time. The opponent goes Druid King first, which is interesting. Go with Mora, and I decided to play Crows this time round. My opponent goes Reachman, so yeah, Crows and Reach, always the classic, very strong combo. Although Mora can definitely give it a run for its money. In this situation, there are no good cards for my opponents to pick. If I were him, I would pick the Runes. Deepwood's Ritual is just not a good card. You need combo 3 to get 5 power out of it. Combo 3 is never happening with Druid King. So, yeah, and meanwhile I get 5 power with the Druid King, with the Reach Patron, so I'm forced to do this. It's the most economical action, which will allow me to buy better cards in the future. My opponent, if I were my opponent, I would use the Reach power cycle and get the scratch, because it's a very strong Crows game. There's a lot of Crow cards here, which it pushes you strongly into Crows, especially considering that Reach is in the mix. Reach allowing you to destroy your bad cards and just get enormous Crow combos going. Runes of the Runes card is like kind of useless. It's the unupgraded version. The upgraded version is whenever any card goes into your cooldown, get 1 power. This one is only whenever an agent goes into your cooldown, get 1 power, which produces much less power in general. I would really like to pick up Midnight Raid, but I also feel that at the same time you can't leave the Forest Wraith alive. It is one of those. It's one of the few. I think it's the only Druid King card now that's actually good. They nerfed the other one that gives you like insane amounts of gold, so that it doesn't. I forgot how they nerfed it, but it's the agent that is like cost 6, and now it doesn't give much. Anyway, my opponent buys the Reach Midnight Raid. That's pretty obvious. It's one of the best cards in the game. I'm kind of stuck here. I don't have anything really good to get, so I'm just going to buy the Rocks here, but I don't think it's a particularly good card. We still have a couple of Crow cards, and we get a Crow combo, which is great. My opponent, see, he got a Deepwood Ritual, which doesn't do anything. Gives him 2 power. It's like so bad and useless. It's not improving his board at all, to be honest. It's just a waste of a card to buy. Overall, Druid King is probably the worst patron. It does the least amount of things, and it's not really gonna let you win anything. I could probably buy Elder Witch. Elder Witch is probably slightly better than Black Feather Knight at this stage. I just want to get rid of a couple more of the gold cards so I can get a good Crow game going. My opponent buys the Crow card, unsurprisingly, and kills my Elder Witch. I do have enough to buy the other Crow card, Black Feather Knight, which I'll be happily picking up. Get some good. We're building up quite a good Crow deck at the moment. Our opponent has a mixture of cards which are okay as well. I think our deck is slightly better than his at the moment though. Roxier is just sort of like an annoying roadblock. It's good against decks that can't produce power, but our opponent is producing a reasonable amount of power, so it's not exactly... He buys that one, which is interesting. I would rather pick the Rag Picker. I mean, sure, it gives you 5 power, but it draws me an extra card, and also... Yeah, I'm not super convinced about that one. Anyway, he revealed Toll of Flesh. That's an easy Crow card to buy. Also want to get rid of one of those, so let's do that. No, I think drawing a card is better than Murder of Crows at the moment. A lot of Mora cards that have been showing up. Tomb Shell is not really worth it, but I would pick up Legend of the Endless is quite a reasonable pickup. My opponent's probably going to go Murder of Crows though. He is also scared of me going Crows. I mean, we're fighting over Crows at the moment. I think I have slightly better Crow cards than he does. In this case, I would probably pick Lantern of the Endless rather than Blackmail. Blackmail is not really a card that I checked my deck to see if I use the Reach power, could I buy it? But I can't. I only produce 1 gold, so I can't just spend 2 power to get a card. And I kind of eat my own Mora card, which is interesting. It might be better to just leave the Mora power there, just on the off chance that you get nice Mora combos going. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be the case. And the opponent start picking up more Crow cards, very dangerous for us. Deepwood Ritual, kind of a useless card once again. Inclined to try Lantern of the Endless, to be honest. I think that's good. Blackmail, okay, sure. I mean, happy to pick up the Bonfire. Reduces my deck even further. It's gonna get... Oh, and the Karth Hunter, excellent. Very happy to see that. We don't need the useless Druid King. That useless Druid King card at the moment. Don't want him to pick up the Crow and don't want him to pick up the Mora card. Then again, I revealed I look full of shadows, so what do I know? problem for my opponent is that he needs to kill my agents, which is not the easiest thing. He used his power cards last turn, so I knew this turn he wasn't really getting the power cards going. Although Threads of Fate would produce a little bit of power, just give me 1 gold, which is not too useful for me, but yeah, okay. Unfortunately, he was not able to kill the Black Feather Knight, so I get free value off it. Although I don't have any Crow cards, so it's not really much of a combo. Probably should damage it. Yeah, he's damaging it for the future turns, which is fine. Yeah, Runes only works when agent plays my cooldown. I don't have any agents going to my cooldown, so it's not really something that's very useful at the moment. Yeah, free Harvest Season. Happy to draw a card. Get another agent down, which is perfectly fine. And I think we can use a treasury now. The other Druid King cards are... I mean, this is a really bad tavern. None of these cards I think are very good at all. So yeah, my opponent doesn't really have much to do either. He's just sort of staring at the board. Buys Voracious Tome Shell, which I strongly... I mean, I guess he bought it solely to get rid of cards from his deck, but letting a Crow deck draw 2 cards, extra cards, is always, I think, very, very tricky. And yeah, we reveal a Briarheart Ritual, which I am more than happy to use. My Crow deck is getting kind of strong now because we've removed so many cards from our deck. And yeah, happy to pick up another Murder of Crows. Pilfer, unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to afford that. I'm not sure why I used the reach power there. I would not have been able to afford the Pilfer, I think. So that was kind of not that necessary. My opponent can't afford the Pilfer either, I think. He has a lot of power cards, but not enough economy. At this stage, my deck is significantly better because I have a couple of Crows and I was using the reach to get rid of all the bad cards. Cipher of the Eye actually might be reasonable here as well if I generate enough power, just because it gets rid of 1 more card. Even giving my opponent the extra 3 gold is not that relevant in this game because, well, I don't think he generates that much power, to be honest. And yeah, I pick up the Midnight Ritual. That's fine. The 3 gold is not going to be that much more relevant at this stage. We are ahead of him. We're probably going to use our Crow power next to win the game. And I don't think his deck generates quite as much prestige as necessary. Forest Wraith, of course, very good pickup, but don't think that's quite enough to turn the tides here. The thing about large amount of gold generation is that you must be able to convert it into power or prestige. In this case, there is the Crow patron in the game, which means he can convert all of it into power, which is fine. But yeah, he's drawing me a lot of cards, which I am more than happy to pick up. Yeah. Lots of cards, lots of gold. So we have a large amount of gold right now, and he's not really... Like, what's he drawing next? Okay, he's drawing some interesting cards next, but I don't think it's quite enough to beat a Crow combo, which is what we're going for right now. I mean, we can do a lot of things right now. We can just press the Crow to get the power and just see what we get. I'm just shuffling to see what I get. These are completely... I don't think these are absolutely necessary plays. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna draw a lot of cards. We're gonna get a lot of power, a lot of gold. We just cycle through our entire deck essentially, which is fine by me. Draw 2 more cards. We just cycle through our whole deck in 1 turn. Yeah, so I would consider this to be a fairly standard Crow game. We could have got rid of our Crow 1 power gold card. 1 tithe to use the... And yeah, we don't really need to do that. This is finishing it off essentially, but I don't think my opponent... We just cycle through our whole deck, and our opponent cannot cycle through his whole deck in 1 turn. So yeah, Crow and Reach still a good combo. Druid King is kind of a wasted patron. Like, all the cards are, I think, very disappointing for the most part. So this was either a Mora... This was mainly a Mora, Crow and Reachman game.